I always thought our house was safe. My kids, my husband, me, safe inside those walls. Then one night, I heard footsteps in the hallway, even though everyone was asleep. That's when I realised something had been living with us, watching, waiting, and it didn't like visitors. When my husband Daniel and I moved into our new house in Franklin, Tennessee, it felt like a dream. The yard was quiet. The trees swayed gently in the breeze. Inside, everything smelt faintly of fresh paint and wood polish. Emma, 10, Noah, 7, ran through the hallways laughing, their voices echoing off the high ceilings. For the first time in years, it felt like we had a place to call home. The first week passed without incident. I watched Emma carefully paint at the kitchen table, her tongue peeking out as she concentrated. Noah built towers from his Legos, giggling when one collapsed. Daniel unpacked boxes, humming quietly. I sipped my coffee, thinking about how lucky we were. But then, the little things began. Whispers. Just soft murmurs at first, almost like the house itself was sighing. I would hear my name when I was alone in the kitchen. Footsteps creaked upstairs when the kids were in bed. Emma told me her window was being tapped at night. I opened it to the empty yard, the cold air brushing on my face. I tried to tell her it was probably just the wind, but Noah started insisting a shadow followed him down the hallway, vanishing when he looked back. I laughed nervously. Shadows don't vanish. Shadows don't move on their own. Then objects began moving. My favourite coffee mug appeared in the living room. A book I had left on the nightstand was on the floor. At first, I convinced myself it was forgetfulness, misplacement, the house settling. But that night, Emma screamed. "There's someone in my room," she cried. Daniel and I ran upstairs. Our hearts were hammering. Adrenaline slammed through my chest. Her room was icy, freezing even. The blankets were twisted around her feet. On her dresser, words scrawled in dust. "I see you." I froze. Daniel gripped my hand. Then a loud bang came from the closet. Emma's terrified scream pierced the air. I inched towards the closet door, stomach tight with dread. For a second I saw a pale figure in the corner, its face blank, its eyes impossibly dark, staring straight at me. Then it vanished. The closet was empty. That night, something worse happened. I woke to Noah screaming. He said he saw someone crouched in the corner of his room. When I turned on the light, there was nothing. But then I noticed scratches along the wall behind his bed, long, deep, claw-like. I didn't hear them being made, but they weren't there before. I wanted to cry, to scream, to run. But I held him tightly, rocking him until he fell asleep, trembling in my arms. The days after were unbearable. Emma refused to sleep alone, pulling her blanket over her head. Noah woke screaming, telling us about a figure crouched at the foot of his bed, whispering things only we would know, secrets no child should know. Daniel and I argued constantly. Fear frayed us. It made every little disagreement unbearable. The house seemed alive, every creak, every sigh of the wind through the cracks, every shadow moving in impossible ways pressed down on us. One evening, I was in the kitchen chopping vegetables when I felt it, a cold skeletal brush along my shoulder. I spun around. Nothing. Then I heard a whisper, low and deliberate. "Why are you still here?" I ran to the kids, hands shaking, hair sticking to my damp forehead, heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. Objects began throwing themselves across rooms. Emma's doll flew from her dresser, narrowly missing Noah. Books slammed to the floor. The temperature fluctuated, wildly hot one moment, freezing the next. At night, I could hear soft laughter from empty rooms. Emma and Noah would wake screaming. Same pale figures stood at the foot of their beds, staring. Then came the night I'll never forget. Daniel and I huddled with the kids in the living room, holding them as close as possible. The air thickened, oppressive, like it was trying to press us into the floor. Shadows stretched across the walls, twisting into shapes that shouldn't exist. Then, All around us came the voice. Leave, or you will never escape. The lights went out completely. I felt cold fingers brush my arms, crawl over my neck, icy and impossibly real. Emma whimpered, burying her face in Daniel's shoulder. Noah screamed as if something invisible had grabbed him. I tried to run to the door, but it slammed shut with a deafening crack. The windows rattled violently, then footsteps, slow, deliberate, heavy, approaching us from the hallway. Daniel and I looked desperately. No one was there. The next morning, we ran. Boxes remained unpacked, dishes in the sink, our belongings abandoned. Relief washed over me as we stepped outside, but the fear didn't leave. At night, I still hear whispers. Emma wakes, saying she sees shadows in her bedroom. Noah refuses to sleep without a nightlight. And sometimes, when I pass a mirror, I catch a glimpse of a pale face watching me from behind. I tell this story because I have to. Maybe someone else will listen. Maybe, just maybe, it will keep them safe. The house may be gone from our lives, but the fear, the terror, remains. And I know, deep down, it is still watching. That's all for this video. Thank you for staying until the end. Like, subscribe and leave a comment. Every interaction brings us closer. Join me next time when we delve deeper into the archive. The records are waiting.